What about the internet? The internet clearly has a great deal of promise as the new distribution platform for movies. Back only 4 years or so ago, in 2006, the number of online movie stores were just mushrooming. Here I've taken some US examples. I could similarly fill a slide with many more European examples. So what's happened? Well, this. Over that time period, a lot have gone out of business, and in fact last year alone, 2009, in the Western world, 42 online movie stores we have identified went out of business. So there are some issues there to be looked at. Actually, we recently made quite a bit of headlines around the world, strangely, because we slashed our forecast for this part of the business, and we cut our forecast by nearly 30%. And we take this forecasting business pretty seriously, and we thought very hard before we took that step. But the industry just has not delivered on the potential and the promise of internet delivery. So here you can see the two elements of the business, the digital rental and the digital retail. Retail digitally goes under a number of names: download to own, electronic sell-through, all names for the same thing, but enabling ownership of a movie product delivered via the internet. And it's really that aspect in particular that has failed to deliver so far. Electronic sell-through hasn't really taken off in Europe, and you've got example here of the European Big Three markets. On this side, the US market. And we've contrasted here the forecasts in dark that we made back in 2006 with the actuals. So, for those people who are always trying to say that us forecasters never go back and look at our forecasts, we do very continuously and examine what has changed. But you can see that in terms of the promise in Europe in particular, not delivered. And I have to say, even our forecasts back then were pretty conservative, very conservative compared to other people in the industry. So the proposition, what's wrong with it in terms of digital retail, electronic sell-through? Well, it has a number of drawbacks. We've seen a decline in the buy rates because it's much more as an experience about what you can't do rather than what you can. It's restrictive. It's expensive. The pricing often out of step with the physical product, and people perceive digital products as being something that should be much more price competitive than the physical product. It's cumbersome. It's not easy to enable portability, for example. It doesn't enable the experience that you have with a physical DVD to take it out of your machine, go to your friend's house, easily enable them to watch the same movie, for example. The title availability, very poor in comparison to physical. Not so much high-definition content available on a download-to-own basis, and really no compelling reason to collect or buy for a digital library. So we saw in music what we call the singles effect happening in digital, where the consumer doesn't buy the album, they cherry-pick the singles, the top tracks that they want from the album, and the industry revenues shrink dramatically as a result because you're paying the single price as opposed to the album price. We're seeing potentially the same effect here for movies, where people offered the choice, take the lower priced video on demand rental option as opposed to the ownership option, and the margin shrinks dramatically as a result. Big issue in digital. So, summing up, if we look at the total transactional element of the movie home entertainment spend, it is in something of a downward slide as we go forward. So these are our UK forecasts going forward. You can see all the different elements. Blu-ray, not the runaway success the industry might have hoped for. The video on demand and the digital component will, as you can see here, not make up for this decline. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Good news, bad news. Who's got comments, questions? Who agrees? Who disagrees? Who is still trying to work out the French system for